Let me be clear. UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. I believe we are in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies.
Jersey sound. Be easy. Yeah.
What's going on, Blunties? It's your boy Desaline.
Hey, with Pharaoh, we have a special episode for you guys today. Let's get right into it, man. What's going on, Desaline?
Let's get right into it. All right, so news recently, there's been some officials who have been, it's been going on since last year, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where you have motherfuckers that was in the military or people in the military, Blunteers, who are basically, they served in duty. They worked in the Air Force. They did this, they did that. And they're coming into Congress testifying on UFOs or UAPs. For those of you who do not know, that is alien technology that's been going on since the beginning of time, recorded in different places. But now we're putting it more on record with people seeing more and more strange things. More recently, four experts testified aliens are coming from the oceans. They possess non-human technology. Now, we can all take it a certain way, but what you think about that?
To be honest, I want to just start off by saying this is actually not being talked about. It is not like as public, to my knowledge. With Trump coming into office and RFK and everything that's going on in the country, I feel like a lot of people aren't really talking about it, which it amazes me because, bro, it's aliens, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Listen.
It's aliens, man. Right. And on top of that, it's like, come on, we've been waiting for this for how long now?
I mean, only a certain amount of people has been waiting, right?
Yeah.
So it's a complicated subject, right? When we're talking about aliens, we're talking about possible. We've had episodes before, Blunteers, about multidimensional beings, etc. It's just fascinating to some people. Some people think it's nonsense. Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't real. It's all fake. You know what I'm saying? Even most recently, Joe Rogan had Trump on an episode, and he brought it up with Trump, and Trump wasn't afraid to talk about it. He said, "Listen, the JFK files, which is weird, and UFOs, Donald Trump." He said, "What are your thoughts on that? You gonna be releasing it as a president, or are you gonna just keep it secret?" Donald Trump was like, "It's about that time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be, letting y'all know a little something. He knows a lot. He's talked to different people who worked in the Air Force. They've seen things. Other people in the military, the Navy, they've seen things. Now, some people, I personally have talked to people in the Navy, and they don't like talking about it. I'm like, what do you think about this? They're like, I don't want to talk about it right now, because they know they always being recorded themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
So I think it's fascinating, and also it leads to other questions. What questions would this lead up to when it comes to UAPs or UFOs and all of that?
Are UFOs coming from space, or is there life out of space, or are there life actually in space? I mean, in the ocean. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of speculations. There's people who talk about how space is actually in the ocean and not what the mainstream media has put out there.
Nonsense.
You think it's nonsense?
It's nonsense, because when you say something like that to a regular person, they check out. Me, 100%. I understand what you're saying.
100%.
I understand what you're saying, but I know what the average I always look at it from two perspectives. The average person who doesn't go like research into this type of stuff, and then what I actually know. We discovered only 10% of the ocean?
Yeah.
We haven't even discovered space that much.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's so much more to explore. So there's a plethora of things that we don't know about the ocean. If you into what do you call that? Biology? What's that? There's a word for it, the study of
life
under the ocean. There's a word for it.
Yeah, you killed me on that one.
Yeah. But anyway, But yeah, it's a whole nother conversation. And to think that, UFOs are actually coming from somewhere deep under the ocean, but they have videos of them going into it like it's
Yeah, I've
nothing.
seen multiple videos, and the reason why I brought this up because there's a such thing called the Van Allen radiation belt, and a lot of theories around that is that we haven't really been able to leave and go into like outer space because
Or make it to the moon, yeah.
there's a belt of radiation that doesn't allow us or even let us go into like outer orbit type stuff. So it's pretty interesting because now that people are coming out and actually testifying about the fact that UFOs are coming from the ocean, it makes you think now. It's like, okay,
Can you say
what
that?
is
Can you say the name
it's
of that?
called the
belt again?
Van Allen radiation belt. So you guys can look it up and you guys can do more research on
The
that.
Van Allen radiation belt. Let me know if this is true or not. So, Blunteers, there are people who believe that we never actually made it to the moon. And the reason of that is because of this radiation belt. So they're saying that whatever we saw on video, it was fake. A lot of people believe it was fake. And they just did that just so they could prove to the rest of the world that we could make it to the moon. This actual radiation belt, given the technology that actually existed during that time, am I right? Am I wrong? That specific metal couldn't have made it through that belt. And everybody would have died instantly.
Yeah.
Because they haven't found a way to get through that radiation.
Yeah.
So that's the whole conversation. So that belt, that's why it's so important, because it's like with that proof, even to this day, there's still not a metal that's strong enough where we could go past it, go to the moon, and survive and all of that because of the radiation. Theories, right? Conspiracy theories for entertainment purposes only.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But what was you saying past that?
No, that was pretty much it. I just felt like, there's different theories and I'm actually interested in hearing what the Congress people are saying because it makes for an interesting topic and interesting conversation.
So the news actually they actually started talking about it. I have a little clip right here where they introduced it, and we get to hear some of their thoughts on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because when you have people who are respected coming forth and saying, "Hey, we 100% believe that there is technology far beyond we can actually imagine that exists, and we don't know who owns the shit," it's a bit much. You know what I'm saying? Not to be afraid about it. It could be something good. Maybe it's a friendly species like, hey, humans, you finally ready?
I mean, if they're anything like us, then
let's hope they're not.
Right.
Know what I mean? History has painted us to be some type of savages as a human race.
Let's hope with higher intelligence means a peaceful thought process or how they operate. Because we're like we're warmongering. Humans are warmongering. So hopefully, these UFOs or these other beings aren't as warmongering as us.
Hopefully. Hopefully. I mean, I feel like, all right, so now I'm bringing it up. I don't care. The ancient ancient civilization. You know what I'm talking about. Bring it up.
So the Sumerians, or are you talking about like Anunnaki?
Sumerians.
Okay.
And Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Anunnaki and the Sumerians. Given the stories that's placed on the tablet that they have, they went through war. As intelligent as they was.
Yeah.
Blunteers, the Anunnaki is allegedly a species that was responsible for actually playing with the human race's DNA, putting a cap on the actual DNA to make sure that, as a human being, you don't live that long. Anyway, scientists can't explain why there's an actual thing in our DNA that looks like it was tampered with.
Yeah.
It happened at a certain point in history. They're like, something is responsible for this change in our DNA.
Yeah.
And it's not natural. But anyway, supposedly, blah, 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 they're aliens. They came here, but even they was going through war.
Yeah. I think war is probably a part of just an everyday thing, every life. Because you got to think, even with animals go through the same thing that we go through. There's how would I say this? There's things that happen like
bees and hornets. They be going out.
Yeah, so pretty much like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe war is something that's a part of nature, right?
Yeah.
oppositions, go against each other and things of that nature. So who knows, right?
Yeah, who knows? I'm about to play this little clip. I mean, we can listen to it. We're gonna just react to it real quick. It basically after the four experts gave their testimony in court, the news reacted to it. Let's see what they had to say.
It's a question a lot of folks have been asking for decades. Is there intelligent alien life? And if so, has the government been covering it up? Well, that was actually the hearing, focus of a hearing yesterday by a House Oversight Committee. NBC's Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us from Washington with the latest on this ongoing debate. And there were some surprises in that hearing yesterday, Ryan.
Yeah, that's right, Craig. At yesterday's hearing, ex-government and military officials suggested that may be the case, that there are intelligent beings that live off of the planet. Witness testimony included a range of stories related to UFOs and UAPs, which stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon. One former Navy admiral said that he had confirmation of them in 2015 when he remembers getting an email from U.S. Fleet Force Command. The video showed a flying object by a Navy aircraft doing exercises, noting that there were several near mid-air collisions. The next day, he said the email mysteriously disappeared from his and others' accounts. No explanation was ever provided from another Defense Department official, and they claimed that the U.S. and its adversaries were hiding away UAP technologies. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Nah, that's nasty right there. Did you hear what this guy just said, bro?
Yeah, definitely.
he just went down a list of different things that just sound crazy. To the average person, you hear this stuff, it's like, okay, whatever. All right, they probably making it up. Me, my mind is going to different places.
I want to hear what you think about that.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm crazy. So I'm watching the video too. So I'm seeing the gentleman. We're probably gonna be able to post it for y'all volunteers. I'm seeing them. They're raising their right hand. They're swearing on everything. And if this is true, and there is something out there that we don't know about, whatever it may be, if they're also capable of deleting your emails, seeing who you are, sniping you from a distance. Like, they want to keep this shit secret, man.
Yeah.
There's certain things that we should not know because it upsets the balance of what society is today. I said this before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a futurist, bro. I'm like a dictator futurist where I believe, for a fact,
I'm listening.
I'm a dictator futurist. I believe we have everything that we need possible on this planet Earth for nobody to ever starve again, for nobody to ever suffer again, for nobody to ever get sick again. But what goes in between that, what stops it from happening, is nonsense. What is nonsense? Greed, capitalism, corruption, evil. Like, these are real things that control. They don't want, like some societies, they thrive off of a population that's poor, population that's can't feed themselves. They're dying, they're getting sick. Scientists, they love that. Oh, you're getting sick? What can I do? They feel like God's trying to get people cures and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they're really just treating them instead of curing.
You know what's interesting, though? My question is, who has enough power, or who has enough technology in their hand to erase emails back and forth from people? Like, who's capable of that? And on top of that, if these aliens were here, what are their purpose here, right? Yes. Who do you think has enough power to do that?
That's a really good question. I feel like when they discovered it, like for example, back in the 80s, the 70s, I'm gonna bring him up again. Bob Lazar. Remember Bob Lazar?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For Blunteers, for those of you who do not know who Bob Lazar is, go ahead and look him up. Whatever. He's a scientist. And he claims he was a scientist from the 80s who claimed to work on Area 51. But his credentials were actually erased mysteriously.
That's insane. That's insane as shit.
He went to the college. He got his degree. They hired him as a scientist, but then they tried to discredit him when he tried to expose the fact that these government facilities were experimenting on UFOs, getting them to fly in the sky. He would go somewhere at night. He was like, look, that's it right there. Those are the flying objects. And he did that, but to discredit him, even to this day, the CIA don't mess with him. They be checking up on him. Like, yo, what you got over here? He's an enemy of the government.
Yeah.
But basically, I was trying to get all that to say, you're talking about a thing or an agency capable of deleting your school records to make you look
that's
crazy.
insane. Didn't they have proof? Like, wasn't there people actually saying, like, no, I remember Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
He worked with us for X amount of years and he came up with this. It doesn't matter? It
doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
Because in the 80s and 70s, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have all of this. So it was easy to pay somebody that's crazy.
That's true.
It was easy to be like, yeah, delete his records. He's done. He's over.
I mean, at the end of the day, your records prove that you accomplished X, Y, Z, right? So if you don't have those records, technically you're not in the system.
That's what's dangerous about today, because we have these emails, we have social media, we have lives. It's harder and harder. Miami aliens.
Is it harder though? Is it harder or is it much easier now? Because you have to think everything that we have now is in the clouds. Everything we have are in the cloud. So I can just access your iCloud and delete anything that I see fit.
Remember what we said before?
Yeah.
They have technology that's far beyond whatever we see in front of us. Yeah, we can say, yeah, it's in the cloud, whatever. Them, they're like, yeah, it's there, but we can delete it immediately.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make, Blunteers, is it easier now or is it much difficult to delete somebody's records? Because at the end of the day, if they can delete someone's records like Bob Lazar, like you said, in the 70s or 80s, right?
It's different now. You can't do it now.
You think so?
Now, it takes a lot more work. So it's more chess playing. Yeah, you could delete somebody's record. Yeah, you can make somebody unalive themselves if you do it correct. Yeah, they were struggling with this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to paint somebody, in a certain manner if you do your homework correct. It's like golden. Like if you're an addict, it's golden for whoever controls that.
Mm-hmm.
You're an addict, oh yeah, it's golden. You're easy wipe off. Does that make sense? I'm talking nasty, right?
Nasty.
I'm talking real nasty, right? But let's get back to reality. Besides all of those extra stuff that they're capable of doing, why are they allowing the public, when I say public, I mean all of us as a humanity, to see something like this?
Let me ask you a question. Do they mention any type of technology, like specific technology that they're, because correct me if I'm wrong, did they say that they actually confiscated any of this technology or?
Let me play the rest of this video and then, I don't know if they mentioned it in this, but I have an answer for you.
Okay.
All right, let me just go and play.
Let me be clear. UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. I believe we are in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies.
Now, this witness urged the new Trump administration to have more transparency, saying that he believes that Americans can handle the truth. We've reached out to the Pentagon for comment, but we've not heard back. Craig?
So many questions. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Hey, thanks.
Now, all right, so what do you think about? I want to hear your thoughts on that last little bit real quick. I have a million things to say, but I want to know your thoughts on that real quick.
This brings me to the point where I think it was like an ex-scientist. I think they were like in the military, and they said that humans aren't ready for this type of sensitive information. To be honest, I think we've been there's so many movies and people have been talking about this so long that people it doesn't hit them as hard. I think the human race is just about ready to hear about aliens. The thing is, like you mentioned earlier, it just doesn't tie into a lot of the things that we've been taught as humans, right? We're taught that we're on the top of the totem pole. We're on the top. We're in the top when it comes to scientific advancements, or there's no other beings outside of us, right? Even things, I don't know, I wouldn't say things in the Bible because they kind of mention, the Bible kind of mentions allegorically other beings coming from,
angels. Yeah.
Angels. So there's a lot of theories on different things, but I don't know. I think the human race is ready to know the truth about what's going on.
Can I insert?
Definitely.
Can I insert some comedy
Yeah.
real quick? So that video, I just played. They had comments under it from regular people. I don't know if you want to hear some of the
definitely.
top. Okay, one user said, "I'm still waiting for somebody to prove that there is intelligent human life."
That's hilarious.
Another one said, "I don't watch your network. If you report on this more, I will definitely watch your network. Thank you for covering this most important topic." Another one is, "Americans can handle the truth. I think we have recently demonstrated that is still not the case." So there's still everybody. There's a whole bunch of people that still speculating. My thoughts on that is this. When it comes to UFOs, UAPs, etc., and you got people coming forward now, the only thing that's dangerous about it is, you heard what he said. The most important part. He said it's a secret agency funded by American tax dollars.
Yeah, it's allocated.
That was alleged, of course. Allocated from Blunteers. I don't know if y'all know. Every time, I don't even want to know.
Nah, go ahead. Go crazy.
Every time the American government has been audited, 7 times, they failed every single one. Sometimes missing anywhere from $1 trillion to 800 and something billion dollars. We don't know where it went. We don't know where it's at. Huh?
$1 trillion is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. These are American tax dollars being mishandled, or we don't know where that money is at.
Yeah.
And not only that, Vivek and Elon Musk, they just recently they're appointed to be what? The government efficiency, right? By Donald Trump. That government efficiency has to do with what the government is actually spending their money on with American tax dollars. Everywhere from experiments that cost $500,000 in Russia to experiments that cost $500,000 in China, wherever the fuck else. So their job is to shut down all of these programs. Now, what is this money? Yeah, you can say, oh, they're really just doing an experiment, or they're paying some other stuff that we don't even know.
Yeah.
Or it's just washing the money out through to pay for something else, like something like this. This is where I wanted to get to. This is why I even mentioned all of that, right? Remember we watched that video on Old Boy who said that there were actual no, there was an army person, a military person. He was on the Sean Ryan show. You know about the Sean Ryan show? No. It's a podcast. He's really popular right now, Sean Ryan. He interviews different military contractors. He interviewed Tulsi Gabbard, not military contractors. Well, yeah, military contractors and military personnel. He's also a veteran himself.
Okay.
He basically interviewed somebody who said specifically, yo, I was out in some third world country. I was with the gang, military people, American Army. They came upon a craft. This is his story. It just never got public like that. He said it publicly just now. He's like, yo, we came upon a craft. It was definitely a UFO. Then people came out who sounded an American in all black attire. Freeze! They took him. They were
what year was this?
Bro, this probably had when he was saying this was like 2010, around that.
So let me ask you a question. Is it possible that, because everyone knows in history the crash at Roswell, which is like 1946, right?
Right.
Is it possible that Americans or some form of our government has, what do you call it when you reverse engineer technology, UFO technology, and they're just flying around observing humans and posing as aliens? Is that a possibility?
It's definitely a possibility. What I was trying to get to was the fact that, yes, if you have military personnel saying that they've encountered something like this, and then these things just fly up and just go away, we don't know what branch of government that is.
Yeah.
That's not a branch of government that exists to us as citizens.
Yeah.
Or as the world knows it. It could be an accumulation of multiple governments. It could be an outside source that just controls stuff and we don't even know. It's all up in the air. Now, that begs to say that, okay, yes, let's say they reverse technology like that, right? Now, it's another form of chaos. where we don't know whether it's UFOs or multi-trillion-dollar company.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I can bring it down to earth. I can accuse BlackRock. I can accuse companies like BlackRock.
Why is that?
Because they're a multi-trillion-dollar company that owns most of the motherfucking food companies that are poisoning us and have been for the past decade?
Yeah.
Couple decades? I could accuse them. You're a multi-trillion-dollar company. Why wouldn't a branch of... Here's the thing. People look at multi-trillion-dollar company. You think it's just one face and then that's it? No. There's people behind him who like, yo, I have access. I have access to a multi-trillion-dollar company. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Do whatever experiments the fuck I want. The fuck? Yes, I have UFOs. I've been reverse engineering them for the last 20, 30 years. Fuck is you talking about? I have the money. I have the power. I can do this. And you will never know because you're a peasant. You're an ant compared to me. That's the kind of power I believe they have. Because you thinking that, it's like thinking that everybody's racist. No, not everybody's racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's certain people, if they are, they're going to do some terrible things. If they are in a position of power. That's all it is. Anyway, I could go on days and upon days.
You know what all this UFO talk reminds me of? Remember that time where we came across this information? It was about the man from Venus.
Oh yeah,
Valiant Thor. So Blunt Tears, listen to this real quick, right? Allegedly, there was this man who came from Venus. He landed in Virginia on a spacecraft, and upon his arrival, he spoke to the owner of the farm, and he was like, "Bring me to your leader." This is a crazy story. There's a lot of evidence, and there's a lot of things that you can read about this, right? And pretty much, he went. He spoke to the president. I think Eisenhower was the president at that time. This was probably like around 1957. Don't quote me on that, right? Pretty much he was like, yo, we can help you with with starvation, famine, with pretty much everything that humans are facing today that would pretty much stop us from reaching the next level in human capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was interesting because what if there's alien life that has been coming here trying to help us evolve, and because of the simple fact that corruption and greed exists in this world, that maybe they're like, no, we want to keep our control and our hold that we have on the world, and we don't need any of your fucking technology that's going to make everything peachy for everyone living in this living on Earth.
I mean, yeah, is
because that goes back to what you were saying. You said BlackRock and Vanguard and all of those people. So, come on, right?
What my response to that is, it's so fucked up, yo.
Yeah,
because it's like, all right, let's say that they had access to Valiant Thor. Let's say they had a Valiant Thor.
Yeah.
Let's say Valiant Thor exists right now, right? Let's say Valiant Thor exists right fucking now, right? And whoever is the leaders, they know it exists. By the way, I believe it exists.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology is in front of us. We have everything that we need. And everything right now in between that was stopping us from becoming a species or a humanity that's up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's greed, it's politics, it's religion, and it's the differences between all these different cultures. That's what's stopping us. It has nothing to do with whether you think killing somebody is good or bad. It's everything to do with the past, what you believe in, the territories, and hierarchy. That's it. But so if he did exist, yeah, of course they would make that decision. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
Why would I want to solve the problems of the world immediately when I could just profit off of it and treat it for as long as possible?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on with the big pharma. Why the fuck would I want to cure you, Blunt Ears? I'd rather come up with something that's going to make you addicted to it and then profit over you and have you need me for the rest of your life. But,
yo, how do you, before we end this, right? Blunt Tears and also Desaline, how do you feel about us creating an episode where we kind of dig more, like we kind of dig deep into this whole Valiant Thor thing, because at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, Admiral Richard Byrd, Byrd, I think, also comes into like they have a connection with each other. You know, remember who that guy is, right?
No, I don't.
The admiral who crossed the ice wall, but that's a whole nother.
Oh yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I want us to have an episode where we just dive deep in it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we could do that.
We could definitely do that, Blunt Tears.
Definitely. All right, yeah. So what are your final thoughts on this before we
aliens exist?
Okay.
And as time goes on, we're gonna have more evidence about that. That's my final thoughts.
My final thoughts is the exact same thing. If aliens exist, if multidimensional beings exist, if they're around us, if they're above us, if they're wherever they at, just know that at the end of the day, you yourself are a cosmic alien being. Remember, you're conscious enough to understand where you at. You have feelings, you have emotions. You are special. We are on a big ass rock traveling at 95 miles per hour through the infinity of space and time. It's impossible. In the grand, infinite things in our universe, it's really impossible for us to be here. So be happy we're here. Enjoy what it is, what we have right now. I'm sitting positive vibes. Love you. It's the blunt of reality.
And we're out, baby.
It's Sparrow and Desolate, the blunt of reality.